Sarvadharma sthapakatvam sarvadharma swarupakaha acharyanam mahacharyo Ramakrishna namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Namaste, Pranam. The three classes of devotees Sri Ramakrishna explained to us: the inferior devotee, the mediocre devotee, and the superior devotee. Inferior devotee is the one who feels, yes, God is there up in the heaven, and we have to wait for our turn to reach heaven to go and meet Mr. God. Till then, God is there, we are here. But we have to continue our spiritual practices. One day He will take us there in the heaven and we can see the God. The mediocre devotee says, God is there everywhere around us in the form of the life and consciousness. Whatever living beings you see is God. Whatever consciousness you perceive in this universe is God. That is the definition of God. That is the understanding of God of the mediocre type of devotee. But the superior devotee, he knows, he understands, he realizes, he perceives God within himself or herself. And not only that, God is filling each and every atom of the universe. God is there in me, within me, and God is there everywhere outside. There is no place in this creation which is devoid of God. That is the highest understanding, that is the highest knowledge that the superior type of devotee he gets. And Sri Ramakrishna also taught us about the different symptoms, different signs of a person who has realized God. Sri Ramakrishna has told us that sometimes that fellow will behave like a madman. He laughs, he cries, he that does everything that a typical madman will do in the eyes of a worldly person. He dances, he sings, he cries, he weeps, he smiles, he laughs. He is behaving like this, one who has realized God. Another sign, this God realized person will behave like a child 5 years old, devoid of any egotism, devoid of any desire, devoid of any ill feelings, hatred, anger towards others. Children, they never express, they never carry the anger, they never carry the frustration, they never carry any kind of desires in them for a longer time. Their desires, their anger, their expression of emotions is just momentary. They are devoid of ego. And that is what happens when the person has God realization. He starts behaving like a 5-year-old child. Then another symptom that Sri Ramakrishna had mentioned about is sometimes this fellow, he behaves like a ghoul. He behaves like a ghoul where he doesn't differentiate between things which are pure, which are impure, things which are good, which are bad, things which are clean, unclean. For him, everything is immaterial. In his perception, there is no cleanliness, there is no uncleanliness. In his perception, there is nothing pure, nothing impure. He is devoid of, he is beyond the pairs of opposites. So that is the third category. And sometimes this person behaves like an inert thing, filled with the tamas, filled with the jada, not doing anything. We will see that person just sleeping there hours together, sitting there doing nothing hours together. He won't have any activity, he won't lead any active life as such. And we say, oh, what a good for nothing fellow this is. That fellow outwardly, he may not be involved in doing any activities, but internally he must be communing with God. He must be talking to God. He must be thinking about God. He must be chanting and he must be performing his spiritual practices just unknown to the whole world. Possibly we all think he's just sleeping and doing nothing. So these are the kind of symptoms, the signs that Sri Ramakrishna also taught us about the persons who have realized God. And then there is no feeling of I and mine in these people. These people who have had the God realization, these people who have had the self realization, they only know thee and thine. They only know you and yours. Oh God, this entire world is yours. You are the doer. We are just instruments. And that is the kind of understanding these people have. So that was the teaching Sri Ramakrishna had for us during our previous interaction. And today we are going to read some nice teachings from Sri Ramakrishna, where a lot of devotees, household devotees, they have come to meet him. This is July 22nd, 1883. It is a Sunday. And being a Sunday, many household devotees have visited. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, he had specifically instructed those who were serious in spiritual instructions, the young boys. He used to specifically tell them, you come here on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Now, Tuesday and Saturday are considered to be a very auspicious day for receiving spiritual instructions. So Sri Ramakrishna used to always point to these youngsters, these young boys. You come on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and Sunday was reserved for whole other flock. Whole lot of devotees, they used to come and meet Sri Ramakrishna in his room at Dakshineshwar. So today also a lot of people had come, and his usual, the innermost circle of disciples. Adhar was there, Rakhal was there, M was there. They had all come from Calcutta hiring a carriage, and they were also listening to Sri Ramakrishna. Well, another person by name Mani Malik, another devotee, great devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. Mani Malik had also come, and Mani Malik recently he had been on a pilgrimage. He had gone to Benares, and he had come back, and he was discussing with Sri Ramakrishna about his experiences of his pilgrimage and travels to Benares. Mani Malik is telling Sri Ramakrishna, I met a monk whom I met in Benares. A monk whom I met in Benares said that no religious experience is possible without control of sense organs. Apparently, when Mr. Shriyut Mani Malik had gone to Benares, he had met a holy person, a monk, and the monk had told him that no spiritual experience, no religious experience is possible in this world without giving up without giving up the desire for enjoying sense objects. So for that, one had to bring under control sense organs, and only then one could get the religious experiences. Nothing could be achieved by merely crying, God, God. Now that was the understanding of that monk. And that's what he was telling people. You don't go crying, God, 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 give me this, give me that, give me liberation, give me illumination. There is no point in crying to God for your liberation, for your illumination, for getting the God realization. Don't go crying for the God. Don't go singing the glories of the God. But control your sense organs. Have complete mastery over your body. Get your body consciousness wiped out, and then you will realize the spiritual truths. Now that was what Mani Malik had heard from that monk, and Sri Ramakrishna, he wanted to know Sri Ramakrishna's views on what that monk had said. So Sri Ramakrishna is ready with his answer. Sri Ramakrishna says, do you understand the views of teachers like him? According to them, one must first practice spiritual disciplines. And what are those spiritual disciplines? Self-restraint, self-control, forbearance, and the like. So these kind of spiritual disciplines one must undergo before setting into this task of controlling the sense organs. The self-restraint, self-control, forbearance and the like, they are the basic necessities on the spiritual path according to these kind of teachers. Their aim is to attain nirvana. Their aim is not devotion. Their aim is not love and affection for the lotus feet of the Lord or the lotus feet of the Divine Mother. Their aim, their objective, their goal is nirvana, the moksha. They are followers of Vedanta. These teachers who say, you first, the only way you can attain liberation is through sense control. These teachers, they are the followers of Vedanta. They constantly discriminate. Brahman is real, alone is real, and the world is illusory. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, that is their constant repetition. Only Brahman is the reality, everything else is unreal, everything else is illusory. That is the understanding of the followers of the Vedanta. But this is an extremely difficult path. This is what Sri Ramakrishna always tells. We are all so much involved with our body. It is not easy for us to give up that body consciousness, to attain that self-restraint, to attain that self-negation, that nothing is real, only Brahman is real. We cannot get rid of body consciousness so easily, and therefore Sri Ramakrishna says, this path of neti, this path of Vedanta is extremely difficult. But this is an extremely difficult path. Why it happens? Because if we start repeating Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, then if the world is illusionary, then you are also illusory. If you say this Jagat is Mithya, then I am also Mithya. Everything around me is Mithya. But I don't feel, I am not convinced that I am illusory. I am not convinced that I am not there at all. I am there, very much there. How can I forget this reality that I am there? I am breathing, I am talking, I am seeing, I am doing this thing, I am doing that thing. Till such time, this feeling of I am doing, I am alive, I am talking, I am breathing is there. How can I say I am not real? How can I say I am illusory? If the world is illusory, then you too are illusory. The teacher who gives the instruction is illusory. Even the teacher is illusory then. He also doesn't have any real existence for that matter. Then everything else is illusory. The teacher who gives the instruction is equally illusory. His words too are illusory as a dream. And then whatever the instruction the teacher has given, those words are also unreal, like dreams. So it is extremely difficult for us to comprehend this statement that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. We can never ever easily comprehend the true sense of the statement of Brahman is the only reality, everything else is illusion. If I become illusion, then why should I repeat the God's name? If I become an illusion, why should I develop devotion? Why should I develop devotion for God? I don't exist. Then what exists? Nothing exists. So this kind of comprehension, this kind of understanding to get is extremely difficult, Sri Ramakrishna says. But this experience is beyond the reach of the ordinary man. Ordinary man can never get into this mode of saying Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Do you know what it is like? If you burn camphor, nothing remains. Now Sri Ramakrishna is here giving an example of burning a camphor. It is like the Advaita where nothing remains. Once you burn camphor, you don't get any kind of residues at all. Everything vaporizes, everything gets burnt, and there are not even traces to know that, oh, something was burnt here. Entire camphor burns in its totality, and that is the real point of saying that nothing exists. Everything is illusory. Well, the moment a cake of camphor is burned, we don't even know camphor was there. It was burned. But Sri Ramakrishna says, when wood is burned, at least a little ash is left. Do you see the difference between burning a camphor and burning a wood? After burning camphor, nothing remains. So everything is illusory. Only Brahma Satya. But after burning wood, at least little ash remains. We know that yes, somebody had burnt a piece of wood here because I can see the ash. So for us, the world, although from the Vedantic standpoint it is unreal, for us it is real. The ash we can see there of the wood which has been burnt. Finally, after the last analysis, the devotee goes into samadhi. And finally, when one starts discriminating on this real and unreal, then the spiritual aspirant goes into samadhi. But that is the last stage, Sri Ramakrishna says. For ordinary people, this stage doesn't come so fast. They have to undergo through the spiritual practices of devoting themselves to God, devoting themselves to the divine, and then realize their oneness. That stage is the last word. That stage is the last stage of getting the self-awareness, the self-knowledge, the God realization. And that doesn't come so easily to the ordinary spiritual aspirants, Sri Ramakrishna says. Then he knows nothing whatsoever of I, you, or the universe. And once the devotee, once the spiritual aspirant going through the process of Dvaita, goes through the process of Vishishtadvaita, and then finally becomes Advaitic. Finally, that Bhakta becomes Vedantist. Once the Bhakta realizes that me and my chosen deity, we are the same. The chosen deity whom I have been worshipping all these lifetimes is nothing but me. And the same chosen deity is pervading this entire creation. Then that understanding comes that this all creation is illusion. Only the creator is the reality. The magician only is real. The magic is all illusion. But Sri Ramakrishna says that is the last stage. It doesn't come in the lives of ordinary beings. Vedantists may say so. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. But for us to comprehend that ultimate truth, we have to undergo this entire process of the devotion, of the contemplation, of meditation, and then finally at the last stage we realize it is God alone who is real and everything else is illusory. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.